Let me see here. I want to find a good, fun question. I'm going to go back to John real quick. John Green, he's got another question. If you could make one legacy item, so make believe you're still with Power Rangers, you're still with Bandai, or Hasbro at this point. If you could make one legacy item that hasn't been released, what would that item be? Like which item out of all the different freaking role-play items, swords, weapons, Megazords, what would be the one thing that they give you a blank check and say, make it happen? What would that item be?
And I promise I won't softball the answer just by saying that now that you guys have like the Zeonizers and the Zeo Gold, I was really excited about that staff and about the Zeonizers. I don't know how and if they're implementing the crystal part of it. My hope and vision for it was that you get the full on crystal replicas and be able to do it up like really cool and wonderfully. I remember a really fun. I think it was my first Power Morphicon. I remember walking around with Leslie Hum, Deca Blue, and him kind of giving me that like training on like what the Zeonizers were, why there's more than one, what it meant, what the Zeo crystals are about. And I just loved, again, being a third party objective point of view. It was neat to be pulled into that and see the immediate value and coolness of that asset, almost 20 years after it was originally on air and presented to children for the first time, who obviously loved it when it first came out. To me, that showed that the thing had, as an asset, it had such cool staying power and cool mythology to it. So the half-assed answer to that, of course, is that, but that's been released. I got to at least get that going, so I won't count that as my answer.
Yeah. I
was really hoping that if we could do it right and make it the right price but not have to compromise on size and function, I was really hoping that we could turn the tide and get Tor out there.
Yeah.
A. And B, I'll just stick with the Zords angle on this. I really was hoping, oh my God, how cool would it be to do a Pyramidas? That thing.
Oh, I know.
Just as an object, just as to fetishize something that's plastic and amazing and has gold on it and is shiny in all the right places and, clear and see-through, gemmy, crystal-y in other places. I just figured that would be so much fun to do in plastic, high premium paints and die cast. I was hoping to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because I love the hell out of that. And again, I came from I was not a Power Rangers fan when Zeo was on air. So to me, I was looking at these things as just cool raw assets that would look amazing as product. And then the fact that you guys all loved that series and would have been like, holy cow, they're making that. that was just the hot sauce for me. I would have been all over that. And God knows, if Titanus was $170 out of the gate.
Oh God.
By the way, if you saw Titanus the way we wanted to release him before you got the release form, the reason we had to cost reduce him was because he was coming in at like $200. There was so much more bells and whistles on that sucker when we were developing it that we had to really just bite the bullet and go, oh God, all right, let's take electronics out and let's relook at the gold chain and how can we make this still amazing but affordable?
Have you seen the super mini plow version of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically we joke it's basically the legacy, Titanus, but smaller with a motor inside.
Yeah.
for almost the same price as Legacy Titanus. It's like $150.
Yeah. So and the whole Titanus thing definitely, that was one of the first ones that didn't fly off the shelves at first and as wonderfully stoic and day to day in their partnership with us for all that legacy stuff was, as Toys R Us was. That was one of the first ones where they went, whoa. This thing's really expensive. We gotta start knocking down the price on this. Now, having visibility to the sales side of things, but not living in the trenches with the excellent sales guys that we had there, I don't know if that was Toys R Us taking a haircut on their own margin, or if our sales guy had a budget and was working in roll back and markdown money to help move it off the shelf quicker. But everyone was serious about it because we did not want a misstep on that at the height of Legacy really firing up and really having a bigger 3 to 5 year plan for Legacy. We did not want something that big and expensive giving everyone like a bad taste in their mouth. So,
yeah.
And sure enough, once that thing got closer to 120, you couldn't find one. That was the magic price point.
Oh yeah, it flew off. I think at one point even got down to, I think it was like an Amazon Lightning deal at one point even, because it was on Amazon at some point, down to $99.
Yeah. Hey, fun fact. I had to buy we were out of inventory on Titanus ourselves. Like I couldn't even get one from Japan, much less our own U.S. warehouse. I bought 3 of them from Amazon to furnish prize packages for the promotion we were running that year because it was the Dino Charge. Find the winning Charger. Yeah. I had to put 5 prize packages together, and I found out at the point of fulfillment that we had to start shipping off the prize winning packages. I was like we can't get any more Titanus. I was like, what are you talking about? We make Titanus. Make me more. Well, there's a minimum order quantity for something that intricate and expensive. I was like, I've got 5 winners, at least 5 winners I think we had, who are expecting an amazing prize package. I took my own credit card and I bought 3 Titanuses on Amazon and had this son of a bitch just shipped to the office, put it in the prize pack, and the winners got their Titanuses.
See, that's gonna be one of those fun stories, if they ever hear that. I'm assuming it was kids that won, as they get older to be like, hey, Bandai, kind of ran out of the product that, you're supposed to win, so they had to go buy it themselves from third-party sellers.
Yeah. And if a super fan won it and knows, the inner workings of how these things are made and, knew me through the process, they can raise their hand and claim, yeah, Greg Mitchell helped buy me a Titanus.
So if there's any super fan listening, there you go. Greg Mitchell taught your Titanus when you won, when you found the one Charger. Oh man, that's funny. I'll ask, I'm going to do 2 more questions and then I probably got to wrap it up. So apologies because I know there's a lot of questions. I've been trying to combine them together as I go, and kind of weeding questions out as you answer other questions.
Sure.
Let's see here. So, this is from Twitter. This is Zexy Profit 3596. Wanted to know how much input did Bandai truly have over which Sentai season was adapted into Power Rangers?
Well, now I know who took the screen name Zexy. I tried getting that for myself, and then I couldn't get it. So, all right, cheers to you, sir or madam. How much influence did we have? It's funny because if I go back to some of my earlier things I talked about, that pride of craftsmanship, that pride of creation, that any Japanese company brings to what they do, and especially that Toei and Bandai Japan were famous for, and which I, revered them for. It was great when they did pull us in, and I don't remember being pulled in until a certain year, and I think that also might coincide with what I said before, which was there was a certain creative leadership that was happening in Tokyo there that I think to this day wasn't making the best creative decisions, or had gone astray somehow, and as a testament or a bookend to that statement, because we were such advocates for making sure we could ensure great global sales and a great TV series, because the TV series, when it gets taken from Sentai and turned to Power Rangers, it's done in the US first and then rolled out from the US version to the rest of the world. So we needed to have good shows globally. They did bring us in at the point where the last 2 Sentai series were the ones that they brought us in for Western consultation. Okay. So if you forgive me or hate me for not remembering the Japanese series names for them, but it was of course the cool Space Zodiac stuff.
Yep. And
of course it was as I'm watching come together with strange curiosity, the whole Master Thief versus Police theme that I think we're being exposed to now.
Yes, Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger.
Yes. And there was even another version in between there that was abandoned, that did not get past the developmental stage, that had a different theme, that it definitely took our feedback in to unify the Zords and to unify the Rangers' powers in a way that could be a very good, singular, direct story that would then manifest itself really well in the Morphers and in the Megazords. And we liked where that was going. And I think for some reason, again, these check-ins with us were not like on a timely, we're going to get together every 6 weeks to see how things are going. It was more like they checked in with us at 2 or 3 different milestone stages to see, A, if we were happy with it or had any feedback. B, okay, this is set in stone. Now what can you do with this? And then C, too bad, so sad. This is what it is.
Do you remember what that theme was? Because they always get there's always leaks all throughout leading up until the actual reveal of each Sentai series, and sometimes they're always a dramatic shift from what it actually ends up being. So I'm just kind of curious And if you want,
The theme I'm talking about has not manifested itself in any form yet, but I'll say this: it was predicated on the power of flight.
Okay.
Lupin Ranger versus Hamuna Brigadier Ranger. That was the theme was there, but the visuals and the aesthetic of it was radically different. I'd love to say, and I won't take credits. Brian won't take credit, but I'd love to at least think that the very direct and strong feedback we gave them as to the visuals they were developing took hold, and they backed away from some really just like utterly strange and I would say almost borderline alienating, not alienation, but alienating, as if a kid anywhere outside Japan would go, what the hell am I looking at here? Or it's just so weird, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And that's a very dicey gamble to make. And, we shared feedback to them with like, it's really scary if you guys do go forward with design elements A, B, and C. What can we do to help you guys see a greater, broader global vision for this? I think the most impactful, you could see the influence and the positive partnership between the offices from point A to point B. Again, never black and white, never, I could point to that and go, oh, that was us. But at least the most collaborative process was definitely, taking the, multiple Rangers and having this interesting and enlightening, space and Zodiac type of theme rolled into one. That was fun.
Yeah.
And I was always curious to how it would turn out. And I got to say, a lot of the constructs that we all agreed upon, if not necessarily some of the creative executions, because creative executions became morphed, hybridized versions of, that good idea from over there, and this great idea from over here. But that was one that I think spelled out a nice case study for how we all could collaborate together in the Japanese office and in the U.S. office. And I have to wonder, if Brian and I had stayed, would we have been able to foster that continuously up until, which we now know is the inevitable, which is, we wouldn't be working on the brand anymore much longer. But I wonder if we could have continued that and been part of whatever the next Sentai series is that none of us have been given any visibility to yet, had we stayed and had we continued fostering that really positive collaboration between, really good creative people across all the offices.
As far as how far ahead are they usually in development? We're on like episode 5 right now or whatever of the new Sentai. Have they already started development past the just, research and development part of it? For the next one after that?
At this point, I would say so. Again, the timelines in my brain are fuzzy as far as like what month what got done. Mm-hmm. Again, it's only been a year and 3 or 4 months, but literally that much distance between now and having worked on Power Rangers, I've had to stuff my head with so much stuff that new stuff that I can't say for sure. But I'd have to say by now they'd have to have certain theme, maybe designs locked, and at some stage of pre-development. Development turning into pre-production, because it is, you almost have like, it's almost how Call of Duty has like, they have leapfrogging dev teams working on every release because every release is annual. Yeah. So you'd have Infinity Ward working on one and you have, someone else working on the other and they basically leapfrog each other. Yeah. There's a team right now who's working their asses off, I'm sure, on whatever the next theme is, leapfrogging over the team that's now taking the theme that you guys all know and then truly seeing it out across 38 to 40 episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.